Hello, Final Fantasy Randomizer fans. Welcome to this round of 32, game 2 of Syraniss versus fcoughlin, the Chaos Winter Carnival. Joining with me in the booth is Sir Linkalot with our Tracker J Low and our restreamer Demon Frog. What's your thoughts on this matchup, Sir Linkalot?
I think it's a pretty good matchup. I know Fred he's a veteran when it comes to running Final Fantasy, the vanilla speed run. Newer to the randomizer. Syraniss has been around for a while, so we'll see what happens. We're starting to get some blur things. We've got at least the red mage. We got a plus 20 health, tier 3, but no temper. To give some indication to chat on what's going on, this is 4 forced, and there are no recruits, so the crew you see is the crew they're going to be running the rest of the seed with. Well, maybe they'll dance somebody off, but we'll see.
Speaking of Blursings, on top of that red mage with its health buff of 20, cure 3, and no temper, we have the fighter coming in with resistance of lightning, ice, and I forgot what status, I believe.
Yeah.
Plus 15 agility, but at a native 20 strength. So that is not the best melee character wield. And then the white mage has plus health or heal 2 casts, plus 10 vitality, and negative 15 hit points. So it'll be a little squishy up front, but it should be pretty high HP in the late game.
Yeah, which, depending on where life lands, might be really valuable because potentially you're looking at maybe one life caster. If life and life 2 both land in bad spots.
It will be extra interesting to see what happens with the idea of a single melee user and no black casters to use temper. So they're really going to be looking for that saber bonk to put on that fighter.
Yeah, the other interesting thing to see is since we don't have a black mage, we are running a red mage. If fast ends up rolling at a higher level, especially like 6, 7, 8, good chance we're not seeing fast either. So that definitely is going to make it to where that power bunk might even be more important, especially if you're going to be trying to run fighter for your carry through Topher.
They definitely chose an interesting set of flags that made this a very interesting race from the get-go.
And according to the race room, we are going to be getting started in about 15 seconds. So with the delay, we'll probably see them get going in about 20, 30 seconds or so.
One interesting thing to see is what is their caster item going to be. They get one of 4 items. It's going to be either a mage stick, a bane sword, the Thor gauntlet, and I forgot the ice casting spell. The black shirt, yes.
Yep, black shirt. Let's see, we're going to get some spells. Black magic first on Syraniss' side.
I hate that woman. She always blocks black magic.
We've got Sleep Quadics, Saber, and I missed the last one. We've got Ruse, Fade, Life, and Wall. So Life is going to be learnable by the entire party.
That was lock 2 as that 4th slot, so it's very useful as far as helping with dodge evasion without fast early. We are seeing it immediately. Magic casting crews run on money, and they are almost all out of cash just getting black magic.
Yeah, and that was interesting to see with Life being level 1. Syraniss just completely stocked his red mages with black magic. Quadic, Saber, Lock 2. So we're on the very least, Syraniss looking at potentially he might only have the one life caster, except he'll have the knight, assuming we find a tail and we don't try to run this without a tail.
It is always possible based on how the randomizer pulls things out. I've seen floaterless, I've seen tailless.
No.
fcoughlin definitely getting his share of white magic in comparison to Saracen, who is on his way up to Topher. Or Toph, apologies.
Yeah, I like having life on all of the casters because the odds of you wiping out of something, especially when you get later in the game, you've got to find something really nasty because you only need one person to get by, and with it at level 1, they're all going to have so many charges it's not even going to matter.
And Saracen, just seeing just that how weak that white mage is, he's already got it down before he even entered Toph.
Yeah, Gurim said Fade Caster? No. Go away.
It is the black shirt as their caster item. None of their characters will be able to pick or to use that for anything other than casting, unfortunately, but it's still one of the more powerful options.
Yeah, of all the options you could come with, Ice 2 is a little bit more powerful. So it is nice to have that one. Fortunately, depending on where we have to go, especially if we were looking at undead, things like that, it's not going to do that great. But we'll see. We'll see where the sea takes us. But we do have, well, there's a tail already. So we've got a tail from the king, canal from princess.
Well, that leaves us 2 ways out of the inner sea, boat or skyboat. So once we get either option, they are most likely going to have access to all the magic they can.
Yeah, but nothing like crazy interesting right away that, might severely change potential routing. More than likely, we're going to see both runners head off to Provoca, take out Bicky and his pirates, and we'll see if we get anything neato there, or if it's, pick your poison. Do you want to go down to Crescent? Maybe. I don't know if anybody would want to try to go to Ice with this party, but that might be an option, or go to Elflin Marsh Cave.
I'll be honest, I'm actually shocked fcoughlin is not making that quick jaunt to Matoya's. Those 3 boxes in her closet could make for some good cash, which they could really use going to Provoca to get magic and equipment.
Yeah, we got a little bit out of Temple of Fiends. Not great. Well, we've got Temper. That doesn't help at all. Thanks. Let's see. White Magic. We've got Heal 2 and Exit.
That's 3 casters that can get out of Marsh or Ice if they choose to go either option right now.
Yeah, I know if I had Temper, I probably wouldn't pick up Exit on the Red Mages. I'd grab Heal 2, Temper, and Lightning so they have sweepers. But because of that, yeah, Heal 2. Sure. Lightning, Heal 2, Exit. Why not?
We've got sweepers on all the casters at this point, just coming out of that Lightning 3 for the Red Mages, which makes a good quick job of Bicky, who gives us the Ruby.
All right, so that means progression has to be sitting in either Ice Cave, Marsh Cave, or the Sages are hanging on to it.
It's always convenient when the Sages happen to have a nice big floater, but
I don't think it's going to be that easy. Oh, there also is the item shops in Elflin and Crescent that could have it.
fcoughlin shifting that armor around. That's steel armor +2. Very expensive, but I doubt they're ever going to get it. We don't have the plursing for make the steel armor make the knight faster.
Unfortunately, you kind of wish that you had that with what potentially might be going on. We've seen 2 spell levels so far, still no fast. All right, and Fred is going to be heading off to, either Ice or Crescent Lake.
Given the lack of the warp spell, I'd assume Crescent. Warp makes Ice that much faster.
Yeah, I mean, Exit helps, then you don't have to make that second run through, but yeah, Warp makes it so fast. If we had Warp and Exit right now, Ice would actually be almost a decent play at that point, but we don't, so we're off to Crescent Lake. Nice free check, the only one we have left.
Well, there's the floater.
There's our floater, so that's definitely our progression. Yeah, unfortunately, I would not sell the black shirt.
I would contemplate it.
If it's sold for more, but only getting 2,600 out of it, I don't think I would consider that. Depending on what we get here, we get our ship. I would do cheeky armory play in Volcano, see if we got money or equipment there to sell.
That could definitely be done, or the option of just going to the ship and taking the advantage of having the Ruby now, get Sarda. Oh, looks like fcoghlin's going for a grind. Or at least testing the waters.
Yeah, we've got a long run, it looks like, though, to get that first encounter. It was off hard reset, and we got an Ocho. That's not too wonderful. Couple Hydras.
Most of the time when I see a grind coming out of here, I think they're looking for EXP packs. but right now he's looking just for gold.
Yeah, you'll take the XP, but when you got a floater for 10k, yeah, that's not going to do it. We need something better than that. And yeah, Chad Burt stating landing counters are typically better when it comes for cash.
And both players are going for that grind.
Yep, there
Understandably so.
Giants, that's something you're looking for. 1,500 gold for just one giant. And a couple trolls afterwards. Those aren't terrible.
Definitely glad they have Fade. That end game level sweeper makes this kind of grind a lot more palatable.
Yeah, we're looking at, even if it's single giant 2 trolls, you're looking at about 4,000. He's got just enough for the floater.
Just enough is more than enough in this case. And at just over 8 minutes, Saracen is already going to be in the air. If he doesn't wipe out to this pack, it's totally possible. Scorpions are evil.
Yes. Cobras are, kind of too, because they like to crit. Or at least for me, they love critting.
I mean, if it was Danny Seed and Spiders came on, we'd expect nuke, but I've seen cremating Scorpions many times.
Yeah, Demon Frog making good point. We have both Ship and Canal, so Martian Ice have a good item. Not necessarily a full dud, might not be something you're looking for, but you're definitely not getting a dud out of there at the very least. It's going to be leading to something you probably are going to want.
I'm curious as to why Saracen is... Oh, he's going to promote immediately.
Yep, makes sense with this party. There's no reason to wait. There's no recruits, anything like that. So it's not like, hey, maybe you'll find a black belt since, I can't have temper. Nope, there will be no recruits, no anything like that.
Immediate promote, immediately chase out the entire armory and the priority item, the incentive item that's right behind Bahamut.
Well, there's some money right there. Sell that katana.
It even rolled up just to spite them. That's the crystal, so we got Machoya, we've got Sarda, and we've got the Titan check available to us.
Nice defense sword. That's something, we can use that to swing even, so that's not just a, hey, we got ruse.
Yep, and that roll-up one does help, but it could be their sword in the endgame if they don't find anything better. I'd be looking for like a Sun Sword, or maybe the Excalibur, but...
I think... I'd have to double check. I want to say unless Sun Sword rolls up, defense is better. Depending on what we're fighting. If we're fighting like Lich or an Undead, then sure, Sun Sword, but...
There's our chime. That's halfway into the sky, or into sky. That gets us in a Mirage Tower at least. The thing about this seed set, they only need 2 more items to get into the dungeons. The Rod or Oxyel to get them into Earth or Sea, or that Cube to get them into Sky. Whichever of those they find, that's their 2 needed dungeons, because Volcano is freely available.
And we get Adamant from Titans, so we'll see what that turns into. A question from RBB in chat: are there recruits? Possible thief for Katana? No, there are no recruits. We are running fighter, red mage, white mage.
I like the fact that we're getting so many fetch quests early. With that early airship, they have fast move around the map, and each fetch item they exhaust, that means less searching later. There's a Vorpal, -1. But more fetch quests they do now, the more experience boost they get for each of those items they have.
Yeah, I like swinging the Vorpal, but the fact that we don't have temper unless we find that power bonk, yeah, we're probably not swinging that one.
I would not be shocked if he doesn't just ditch the crit stick for some cash, because he's going to get more magic for his team at this point.
20,000. We've got a good chunk of change. I don't think we necessarily need to sell it just yet, but
very true. We haven't found pro rings or gold rings or any of the premium sold items. And yep, there it goes. And on the other side, fcoughlin finished his grind and is getting his airship right now. Or getting his floater.
Yeah, he's gonna have to play a little bit of catch up, not too much. That crystal does turn into our loot, so now we are looking for key, and then rod, oxale, and or cube. We only need 2 of those, so 3 items from go mode at this point.
And we have exhausted all of, or Syraniss has exhausted all of his fetch chain currently, so he's got a few locations to go. Where do you think is he go? I think Marsh is the most logical place from where he is now.
Yeah, Marsh would probably be the play just because of the fact that it's your quickest check right now of everything.
Shockingly enough, even though we've gone all over the map, this is our first look at Elflin for level 3 magic. Harm 4 in white, and we had Ice 3 in black. So not bad at all. That Harm 4 off that white mage is a damage all cast. So it's another sweeper, second to the fade.
Ooh, that hurts at 4 a little bit. Invis 2 is locked to white mage. We do get nuke in level 4. We also have Brack there too. But that means only one person's going to have that Invis 2. So finding a white shirt, if you're looking for full party evasion, that might be something you really need.
Well, hopefully something can distract and dazzle Kraken too, because you know what happens there.
Kraken Punch. We got gold plus 5 bracelets though. Those are nice to see, and they're pretty cheap too at 13,000.
With that big of a roll up, most definitely. As I said, other than the pro rings, those gold bracelets are usually the most valuable thing to find in stores.
So we're getting a little bit of divergence. Fred, after doing the promotion, actually decided to go directly to Waterfall.
This is interesting. Normally you'd route there when you thought, I guess I might be able to do C.
I guess it's that idea that's like, hey, I'm here. I need so many items. Yeah, you've got 3 free items down there, but it's not going to put you in a go mode. You're still going to have to go somewhere else. So
Very true. And the early exit makes this run in a run in once and out. That's a flame +1 out of Marsh for Syraniss. That's big for his knight to have more defense.
yeah, and these mud goals are they're chunky boys. They took a fade and a swing from the knight on the defense for over 300 health, and they were still alive and kicking. But 2 fades, no. That might be another reason why you decided to do this. Waterfall encounters are worth a decent amount of experience for the level your party is right now. So a nice way to go get an incentive item as well to get some levels on your characters, because you're not going in a Topher at these levels unless
That
you
is
have a
very
extreme
true.
death wish.
Ice Cave and Marsh may have incentives in them, but their danger is mostly just the quantity of enemies they face, not their quality and EXP value.
All right, we get a katana. The most important thing, though, we got a rod out of Waterfall. So that's one of the pieces of the puzzle. So we're looking for key and then either Oxio or cube. So this play to do Waterfall without the Oxio might actually pay off if we end up finding the cube to be our 3rd dungeon.
Very true. And the slab coming out of Marsh for Syraniss, so that's another fetch quest he needs to get, or he has to get done. I'm fairly certain both of them really want to get that ribbon that's in the incentive pool, let alone find any more ribbons for their party.
Yeah, I mean, you've got plenty of wall casters, but still, you want one character to be protected just in case somebody's got a cheeky insta kill on first turn and they get turn orders like, hey, here's Zap, and hey, your entire party's dead. Go back outside and try again.
I like this from Syraniss. He is actually checking that right side spike tile in the drop down room. Finds a Frosty, which could be okay experience, but not the best thing to go for right now. There's that Sun Sword though, -1 unfortunately.
Yeah, like you might equip it when you're like going up against Lich or something if we don't find an Excal. But other than that, Probably not. Cure 4, level 5, that's going to be learnable by everybody except the knight. That's nice. We're going to have plenty of healing in
It
Topher.
also deals with status effects in combat. I've seen a lot of races lost because the racer didn't realize it can bring someone out of stun.
Well, I missed the first chest. Opal +4 and a ribbon, so some good equipment out of ice.
Some extraordinary equipment, all things considered. That is a very stacked defense on that fighter now.
Fred doing some spike tile checks. We got wizards in first spike tile giants hallway. That's not something you're going to take. What's the second? Well, when we get away, what's the second? More wizards.
Womp womp. Ooh, Wissags have cremate. Very nice. That's the spike tile in the Ice 6 pack.
Yeah, no nukes. We got some fade still, so that's good. Let's see. Fred is going to go check these 3 boxes on Earth 2. One of them is a bit of trap treasure, which I believe they didn't turn that off. So anything that's behind a trap tile is typically going to be better. Giants just moved down to the second floor.
I have seen this room pull out a katana and a power bonk at one time, so these are usually okay chests to check.
Yes, that was my race that happened on. So.
And an ice shield +5. Syraniss has the flame shield on Marsh. Ice shield out of Earth 2 for fcoughlin.
But Fred's going to continue making his way down into Earth Cave. I'm sure we're going for a kill on Lich. There's really no reason not to. You're, just about in the teens. That's high enough for Lich, especially when you've got things like Fade, Nuke, Harm 4. Lich isn't going to survive very long.
Most definitely. And proximity play, checking the Sarda, the Titan's Cave, well, only really having to come. The only reason you'd have to come back to this continent is if he does get that slab and choose to chase it down.
Ice has our key. So, ice required. So, question is, when will Fred come there?
And for Syraniss, he now can check this crescent lock and then probably head over, get that slab translated. That is a Thor hammer coming out of the quick check in front of the vampire.
Yeah, -3. I mean, your white wizard's not going to be swinging it, but, lightning 2. You're not going to complain about having unlimited casts of that because who knows, maybe something terrible happens. We get a crown, but something maybe terrible happens in Topher and you end up having to go into white. Well, we don't have a Mossbeam, but white samurai strats where you're just using lightning 2 over and over again until something dies.
Indeed, and if you run out of your lightning 3 casts in C for some reason, they're a very good elemental item to have.
Oh, there's our Oxiel. So that is not yet. He still either needs the rod or the cube, but considering he got the Oxiel, if Syraniss wants to head that way and then check Waterfall, that will be go mode when he picks up the rod.
Very much so. It looks like he's going to check the Northwest Castle treasure chest as well. Steals the crown jewels out of the treasury in Carnaria and trades it in for a diving suit.
Yeah, I mean, not a terrible pack to take here. It's going to be a decent chunk of experience. I mean, if he's looking for a grind, this isn't what you're going to take for a grind, but you'll take it if you run into it.
Yeah, if you get 3 or 4 Wismums in that pack, it makes for an excellent grind, but it's the randomness of how many of those you actually get in the pack. I'll take an Opal +5, though. That is an excellent piece of armor.
Yeah, and Sphinx. No thank you. We're leaving. All right, Fred made it through Earth 4, so we are on Lich's floor now. Syraniss doing a quick inventory check. Like, what do I got? What do I still need? It's like, I need a rod or a cube. All right. We're gonna go to Volcano on Syraniss' side. Looks like we're going after Carrie. And Fred taking Lich down. Lynch just punches for 17. No big deal. Got a couple lightnings go out. Faye 232. Down goes Lich. So we've got our first orb lit of the match on Fred's side.
One speed bump down, two more fiends to go so far. Looks like Fred's going to turn in his adamant.
Yeah, his routing's really good. He's doing just stuff that's in proximity to where his overworld traversal isn't. You're not spending a lot of time backtracking. We get hooray!
Both racers going with the simple say hi to the hooray dwarf. I'm turn liberate him from his temporarily locked hell, personally. And that is the Zeus bonk coming out of the bad hairpin in Volcano Armory.
This is not the bonk you're looking for.
Yet more Lightning 2 casts, not so much Saber casts. In fact, I think he just reset out of that.
He didn't have anything useful. He didn't take an encounter that got him a lot of experience other than these mages, so it's not a huge deal. Like, if we didn't have the other caster items, keeping the Zeus bonk, sure, but with everything else...
Looks like Demon Frog's got a good point. He exited out, so kept the experience of the fights on the way. And there's some more armor. Fire armor +2, although I don't know if the red mages can wear that.
No, they cannot. Armor or silver is the best they can do, so typically you'll stick it with a gold bracelet, but if silver rolls up, and especially if like gold bracelets roll down, silver armor is good for.
I don't see him putting that in place of that opal armor he's already got on that fighter, so...
Nope, no chance. We're already sitting at level 17 on Syraniss' side. It looks like he's gonna take these mages. I mean, he is getting 3,000. Ooh, well, they were good. I don't know if you want to keep taking them now that you know that they got Stone Touch.
And Coughlin seeing those gold rings over in Elflin. Got enough for at least one of them.
Yeah, Will Bloodworth. It's not a bad tile until that happens. As soon as that happens, like, nope, this tile is no longer a good tile. I'm out.
You find the right eye, and then all of a sudden the right eye just starts executing your team.
Yes,
it's a great experience until it's not.
Yeah, that's what happens. This is an awesome thing until something terrible happens, and then it's no longer awesome, and we move on looking for it elsewhere.
Then the question is how much of... Well, I assume he's going to check most of Agama floor while he's down here.
Yeah, I mean, we're still looking for... I mean, he's got the defense sword, but knowing that you have no temper, you've got to imagine you're checking every better trap treasure that you walk by, hoping that you see Power Bonk. And then...
hoping that you see something other than images on that spike tile.
That too.
And Fred Coughlin taking down some EXPs as he too joins us in Volcano.
Alright, let's see. I'm actually kind of surprised to see Syraniss skip that top chest. A little bit.
Especially since he's going out of his way to go to the red D chest.
Because, I mean, unless I'm wrong in chat, if somebody knows and they want to correct, mummies are dangerous. This might actually be really bad. Oh, okay, we got fade off. Unless somebody in chat wants to correct me, I'm almost positive that top box in the Agama tiles, that's a better trap treasure.
I do believe so, yes. Taking advantage of those life spells to bring back those two mummy-killed red mages. And probably just going to warp back to the entrance and not take that refight if he can avoid it.
I don't think Syraniss can. I don't think Syraniss has been to Melmond yet.
He doesn't have his slap transfer. I think you're right.
Okay, Budgemano saying only the Agamo floor, the top left room. So okay. I could have sworn it was, but hey, we get another ribbon, so we'll take it. Because
Definitely worth it.
that means he's, you know, if we find the other ribbon that's incentivized, you're gonna have 3 ribbons. You are not gonna complain about that.
2 of your life casters now have protection.
I mean, the important thing is you can put that on your knight, and so you've got your melee and just another person who, I mean, well, I guess for Syraniss it doesn't matter because the way he bought spells at level 1, he only will have 2 life casters because we saw life 2. It was in Crescent Lake, but it was slot 1. Those red wizards will not have life.
Those early choices can really come back to haunt you. Let's see if they do in Syraniss' case.
Ooh, Carrie's got Mute Touch. That's kind of scary, actually, because your damage is kind of your spells at the moment.
Resulting to punching with that red mage. Never fun.
I would just have, yeah, I would just have the red wizard be waiting at this point then. If he had a sword, sure. But red wizard doesn't have a sword, so yeah, I don't know. But all right, carry down. So Syraniss is going to get his first orb. And Fred is learning about the Fire 2 mummies.
Sooner or later, because he went for that Agama chest, which, well, looks like Syraniss made the right choice skipping it.
Yeah. Hopefully Fred does not skip the incentive. Well, it's not incentivized, but typically the volcano incentive chest, because yeah, that's a ribbon. You want those.
Most definitely. And Syraniss now taking the opportunity to get revived and healed up in Cardia, and then check the Toflock checks, where he found yet more mummies.
Yeah, it's like I don't. Okay, we got turn orders, so Nuke should hopefully take all of these out.
Wiz mummies apparently over 200 health.
I mean, you took out the scary mummies. We don't know if Wiz Mummy. Ooh, nope. Fred is skipping that chest, so he decides like I'm gonna check it. Like, nah, I'm not gonna check it. So unfortunately, we'll be leaving a ribbon behind. Hopefully, we'll see if he gets the one because he's gonna have warp and exit in Ice Cave, so he could pull key and not check those chests. So he might only end up with that incentivized ribbon if we even find that one.
It really depends on how late he plans to do it. If he finds himself hitting up ice as late as possible, he's incentivized just by the pressure of the time to get out of there sooner with that warp and exit. So most definitely a possibility to miss it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. See, this is the scary thing. Like, I mean, understand it's a defense, but the fact this is carry 1. We're swinging 3, 4, 11 on carry 1. We have to go through, you know, carry 2 and all the other 2s, and they're typically more chunky than these ones. And speaking of
proximity
that,
to play to ice.
Yep. Ooh, there's a white shirt in the Toflock chests, so that is incredibly important to have.
This is some pretty good gear completion in the case of Syraniss, and hopefully fcoughlin does make these checks because he definitely wants that as much as anything else.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where Fred goes next because he's really been doing the proximity plays based on where he's going for incentives. Well, after this, we'll have the key, so maybe we'll see the play to Castle Canaria. Check that. He'll get Oxiel. That will put him into go mode. He's at that point looking more than likely for equipment, and he really needs some levels still.
Yeah, well, he'll have the key, so he'll get the crown. He can bump up to Toflock to get that white shirt, but he'll probably just go straight to Northwest Castle like Syraniss did. And where he goes from there is a good question. Syraniss in Melman, getting the magic, getting the slab translated. Looks like we might be en route to see some Luba Luba people.
Yeah, we'll see where he's going next, because going straight north, so maybe he is. Yeah, he's gonna stop off. I guess we're gonna fight Kraken. We'll see if he decides to check waterfall. I would imagine you check waterfall here.
This is exactly when I would go to waterfall because I have Oxyale, and it just makes sense for routing. Just like if Coughlin's been doing proximity plays.
Yep, there's the key for Fred. So is he gonna exit?
Interesting, putting that defense sword down on one of his red mages, and it looks like he is diving down. So this is better than what could have been.
Yeah, maybe just checking. Hey, I'll check these quick boxes for, see if there's a decent grind here. No decent grind. Okay, well, maybe I'll get a good piece of equipment, and he's gonna, hey, his Orpal and ribbons. Like, okay, well, there's some good equipment.
Much value. I mean, we think of time and pressure. This is barely over 30 minutes, and we're already this far into the seed.
Also thinking about this, we haven't seen level 7 spells yet, but we've seen all black magic 1 to 6. There was no fast, which means there is only 1 of 8 spells that fast can land on that those red wizards can learn. And speaking of, we're going fast. Syraniss is in go mode now. Has picked up the rod from Waterfall. Just needs to clear out earth and water crystals or orbs, and then it is time to go to Topher whenever you feel ready for it.
It saddens me not to go to Sky, but I totally see this going straight up. He's already promoted. He's already got some excellent equipment. As much as he'd love that Saber Bonk, it is not necessary.
I could see Syraniss maybe checking some chests in, when you're doing the earth dive, when you're doing the sea dive, just be like, I'll do a couple cheeky chests or checks on especially the better trap treasures. Maybe I get my power bonk. And if not, then, what do you feel comfortable doing at that point? Because if you're looking at the potential of no fast, no saber, you're going to have a way to get through these bosses.
Nope, that magic in level 7 on rack did not have our fast in it, so.
That's actually a good thing then. Because those are the ones that the Red Wizard can't learn. Red Wizard can learn first slot in Gaia on Black Magic. They can learn slot 1 of on rack in White Magic.
As far as trap chests to get on the way down to Kraken, there are multiple on the Sharknado floor that they can hop into.
Yeah, and the encounters on that floor are typically worth a decent chunk of experience too, so that's definitely a floor you don't mind actually wandering around and hoping you get some good experience and maybe get lucky and get a good piece of equipment. Like an X-Cal would be amazing right now. That's what you really probably want to see other than a power bonk. But other than that, you're probably not interested in too much because you're not going to find another ribbon now. You've already got a white shirt. You got defense. So you're kind of looking for X-Cal.
Fred Coughlin doing the play up to Toflocked. He is going to get the equipment out of there as well.
All right, this is good. So that is not the eye we want.
Bad eye, go away.
Putts. I would actually say it's pretty fair. Maybe a very slight edge to Syraniss, just because he is in go mode right now. He also has more levels and better equipment. But as far as like if you're just looking at who's closest to being able to go to Topher, it's pretty even right now.
Yeah, Syraniss definitely got the advantage being able to get in the air that much faster while Coughlin was going through his grind. But even considering that, it's very tight.
Yep. Apparently I missed this, but Ale didn't. We've got trans lobsters. There's the eye we're looking for.
Yeah, they cohabitate the same floor.
Yeah, how much are you going to actually take this? Because I believe it's safe. Ooh, there's an Aegis shield. But we'll see, because Kraken 1, it's not as scary as Kraken 2, but Kraken 1 can still do some pretty crazy things as far as, hey, still going to swing and hit you for 300, and your mages that don't really have any equipment, they're dead. And the knight might be able to win through, but really kind of depends if you can get the evasion stacks up. And there's no spell cast.
As much as I like the eye grind, it's not the best team grind. So yeah, Peter's getting off of it sooner than later. At least he knows where it is, and all things considered, it's actually not that deep. C is a fairly fast dungeon to get through if you've got the levels to make it through safely.
Yep. All right.
And
Fred got
those,
his white shirt. He was out. So
yeah, he took some damage from those those mummies, because he lost his spider and a red mage.
Yep. So yeah, I need to pick those up. I didn't realize that before, but the houses are cheap. 6,000 or 600 for a house. Okay.
Buy a subdivision. Invest. Syraniss going for that trap treasure chest. Well, yep, that is an Excalibur. I believe that was a +2.
That is definitely something you're very, very happy to actually see now.
And not just moving that defense sword down, he's actually equipping it and the sun to his red mages. So now his red mages have some reasonable swing.
All right, so Fred is in go mode now. He picked up the Oxio, killed Astos, got Oxio. So Fred just needs to go kill Kraken, and then it's equipment. So and levels. When does he feel prepared for Topher?
So far, levels-wise, I don't think either of them are necessarily prepared for Topher. But equipment-wise, Syraniss definitely has the lead on that.
It's really hard to say if your levels are good, because you always assume that when we're talking about levels that, you're either running a ninja that can just crit and do man mode. An Excal will work, but you've got no support to it. So unless we find that Saber Bonk, especially if like Chaos rolls extremely high absorb, high health, are you going to actually be able to get through Chaos if Chaos has a nasty spell or skill script that's like non-elemental? It just kind of knocks all your mages out.
That is very true, and that Excal, as great as it is great up into Chaos, as Chaos does not have any elemental weaknesses, which is what the Excalibur does well. So that is the Water Orb for Syraniss. That's 2 all. As fcoughlin is deciding to team grind on these mummies, knowing that they have that fire spell. He is leaning on those 2 ribbons to keep at least 2 of his guys up so he can continue that grind.
I mean, it's not a terrible idea. Like, if you're getting decent turn order, this is a good encounter. It's dangerous, because if those mummies get all the... Okay, he's not taking it multiple times, but...
It looks like Syraniss is going Lumpaland, just somewhat proximity play to see about getting that item, because we still have the incentive ribbon. They have not gotten that yet. They could have 3 ribbons here.
Yeah, and Fred does not care about that, because he flew right over Marsh like, nope, I'm going to C. I can go clear it. We're going to C, and we'll see what he does after that. We'll see if he checks anything, because maybe he'll get that Excal.
Hey, Luva linebacker.
Oh, we got our cube. So Syraniss actually has a choice. He could go to Earth, could go into Sky. It would make sense to go to Sky. You're right here. You don't have to fly to it. And Sky, if you don't check anything, is really quick to go through.
In much the same way that Sea Shrine can be with the encounter table. Plus, what he could see encounters-wise would be worth way more experience for that walking grind, including the cheeky war mech if they find it. Oh, but
So,
that's stop in level 8 Gaia, which means level 7 or level 8 in Gaia is where fast landed.
so there is a 20% chance that those red wizards can learn fast. Oh, Fred is checking.
As far as blurstings go, we've got on the fighter, it's lightning, ice, and status effects, and then plus 15 agility at a negative 20 strength, which is why we're really insisting on trying to find that saber bonk, especially since the red mages, which they have 2 of, cannot cast temper.
And it's looking incredibly likely that we will not see fast either. Or we're going to see fast, but I don't think we'll see, but I don't, it's very low chance that the red wizards are going to be able to learn it. He is checking
Indeed.
boxes, so it looks like he is going to get that Excal.
Does not look like he's going to find that eye, but at this point I don't think he's interested in grinding an eye here, as Syraniss did decide to hop over, hit the tower, climb to the Sky Castle, and fight himself a Dragon Queen.
Yep. And Budgemano, we don't know about no fast. There is still a chance that those red wizards will be able to learn fast, but it's 20%. It depends. The only shops we haven't seen are in Gaia. So if it lands on slot 1 in Gaia, we're good. If it landed anywhere else, nope, no fast.
Syraniss logically skipping Sky 1. Looks like he's skipping Sky 2. He might hit up the free 4-pack ahead of the Sky Maze portal, but I doubt he's even going to go up to... Oh, CC's Gambit, as I was about to say, who wouldn't?
Let's see. Mage Stick, Ice Sword, Iron Gauntlet, and a house. That's not what we're looking for.
That is a free better trap treasure. There is no spike tile there, but is qualified as a better trap treasure, so I totally understand why you went for it just then.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. All right, Fred almost at Kraken. Syraniss' level's looking really good. I mean, depending, we're looking at that 23-25, so that's kind of the point where in a group like this, you're like, yeah, Topher, sure, but no fast, no tempers. Are those the levels you really want to give and try? I don't know.
Indeed.
We'll
If the high spell, even if we get it at level 7, they have the limited number of casts they can get. If it was level 8 and it was learnable, they have the 2 free casts for all 3 of the casters, because the casters got plus heal 2 for the white mage and cure 3 for the red mage, but that's level 8. That doesn't help.
Nothing in those, so. But Fred takes down Kraken. Unfortunately, the white mage went down, but is the first one to 3 orbs. So is able to go into Topher if he wanted to.
Proper go mode. Also checking those black spells, looking to see if he can find fast.
This is why it's important to know your red mage spell slots, because at that point you could be like, don't even care if fast is there because I can't learn it anyways.
People, get your robot chickens in the chat because we have a chance for it here and now.
Oh, Fred is making the play to Gaia.
The last place it could be.
Yep, he's looking for fast. So is it here? It is, but that is not the slot you can learn.
Pain.
Oh, we were still looking for pro rings as well. So there's our pro rings.
Now that is definitely a want. We had the gold rings that rolled up, and now we've got the pro rings to go alongside those. So the resistances with the ribbons. Their kit is not bad. It's literally just the lament of not having that power bonk to supplement the lack of temper.
Yeah, no power bonk, no fast now, minus strength. It'll be interesting to see. I believe both runners kept the Vorpal. I think they still have it, to see if any of them go either into backup or actually go for a Red Wizard carry because of the fact that they have Saber at level 1. It's not ideal, but that might be better than a Knight swinging a unbuffed Excal.
I do believe one of them did sell the Vorpal. I was discussing and they just sold it while I was talking about the idea of doing so, but at least one of them kept it. I think Coughlin has the Vorpal and Syraniss doesn't.
Is like Fred might be just deciding to dive.
I don't blame him. It's the seed was very fast, but it's still getting close to 50 minutes. I would not blame him to dive now. We haven't seen. We could have a really cheap Topher as far as big spell white or sweepers being either late in the casting table or non-existent.
I'd almost use those bats and check to see what kind of hints you get from the bats. Would be if anything says super absorb, anything like that. Be like, nope, I need to figure. Or it'd be like, all right, that's going to be the boss that I'm running the Red Wizard on.
Intel or no intel, we got 5758, I believe, or 4758 as far as a dive time for fcoughlin. Syraniss is going to Earth to check the Titans tunnel, or the Hall of Giants, I should say, which we already know has nothing really.
Yeah, he's looking for an encounter that he can grind on, but this is not going to be the play. So he's not comfortable with where his levels are right now.
Knowing what we know, I would probably go to Toph and just grind those mummies for what I could get if I need it, or try a Toph grind or a Topher grind because you could get some pretty solid experience off of floor 3, I believe.
Yep, that's what I was gonna say. There's no good static walking grinds anywhere. I would go to floor 3 of Topher. Just run laps around the floor. You have 2 Fade casters if you gave Fade to that Knight, and 2 Nuke casters. Oh wait, no, you wouldn't have. He's not a Fade. But still, you'd have a Fade caster and 2 Nuke casters. Most things are gonna die in one full round. So if you aren't comfortable with your levels, that's where you go.
Now, I find it interesting that Syraniss is diving deeper into Earth because he has the sky or the air orb lit up, did he not?
He did. Probably checking these better trap treasures, and that might be it. He gets that. He sees the ice +5. He's going to grab the ice +5. But yeah, he's probably just checking like these are easy to check. Better trap treasures. I should check this and hope. And unfortunately, no. Well, Fred's on Lich too, so we'll see. Got Fight, Nuke, and Fade. I'm not sure how I feel about the use of Fade. I'd rather keep that for like a boss further down because it's also your life charges and use. I'm pretty sure Fred bought Harm 4. Use Harm 4 instead.
It may not be as damaging as Fade, but I mean it can crit Lich because he's undead.
Yep. So, but Lich 1 or Lich 2, you know, we got speed bump. Didn't see anything dangerous from him. Carry 2 is going to be next. So this is where things start to get a little scary. Carry 2 can kind of go one of 2 ways. Sometimes Carry 2's just Carry 2, and other times Carry 2's takes the leaf out of Kraken 2's book and is like, hey, I'm going to be difficult too.
We are pretty low health on this pack. We only have one character that would be nuke resistant, meaning over 400 health.
Yeah, we had a Fight Nuke White Shirt. Nice roll on Nuke there. 6 for 103. That armor helping out a lot. And down goes Carry 2. So
pretty thin Snake Lady.
Yeah, because we had like a 150, 320. Yeah, roll almost, somewhere but vanilla or lower. And 5 waters.
Syraniss not bouncing out. He's going all the way into Armory.
He must just not feel comfortable without. That's what it's got to be. Like, I don't feel comfortable with no power bonk. Like, I don't think I can get through Topher without power bonk, which might be the play, but who knows? We'll see. We'll see what Fred does because we've got a Kraken 2.
Ooh, well, that's a metal slime grind, so that could take that for a little while. if he feels low on experience.
All right. I think he used Ruse. Yes, if he's got the defense sword, I'd use that so you're not using those life charges. But yeah, Lightning 3. So Kraken does have some spells. That's actually what you want to see. We've got Fire 2. Does a little bit of damage here and there, but nothing crazy. Okay, did use defense and some white shirts. So we're going full defensive, thinking we're going to have a little bit of a slog getting through this boss. And more white shirt, more Lightning 3. I like the use of Lightning 3. It's not going to do a great amount of damage, but it's good enough. Lightning 2, more chip damage. Nice swing from that knight. We got 3 for 341. We got a crit out of there.
With the limit of strength, getting those crits is very valuable.
Yeah, we're at about 700, 800 damage now on Kraken. So getting to the point where Kraken we could see it terminated. And yeah, there's terminated. Thank you, Dragon Warrior Randomizer, for the raid.
We welcome you in as we've got two racers in different positions. fcoughlin has just made it through Kraken 2 in Topher and is on his way to fight Tia 2, as Syraniss is in Earth, has all 3 of his needed orbs up, but he has found a metal slime grind and he is trying to get as much experience and power he can on his party before he makes his own Topher dive. He has everything to do it though.
All right, turn 1. We saw defense, nuke, white shirt. Tia just came out with a stun. Don't really care, but you'd rather see that on chaos, but unfortunately no. Nuke's kind of low rolled here. We're gonna do fight. Nope, another defense, nuke, some more nuke, and another white shirt.
Somewhat concerning that he's running out of so much his new casts.
I mean, it makes sense to try to get through the fiends, and then what is the strategy going to be against chaos though? You've got to be able to get through these, and you don't want to sit on them for too long. Fortunately, we're seeing like all of the things you kind of don't want to see because you hope chaos has it. We've seen the level 2 elemental spells. We got fade, so we're getting some good damage. We're out of nuke charges, so we're going to do some lightning 3, ice 3, and fade. 3 for 12. That is that's not what you want to see.
Going from nukes and fades to elemental spells and fades, and the elemental spells are definitely not working well. Syraniss changing up, went to Northwest Castle for a grind option, bailed out of there. I think he is heading to Topher to get his grind in, or his dive in.
Picking up some consumables first, and we'll see. 272. Fred makes it through Tia 2, and yeah, we're on to. Okay, I don't know. Unless you're out of potions, I would not have been using Cure 4s.
Because Syraniss picking up some Pures just in case. He is very much apparently worried about every possibility currently. And there's that Vorpal. He's put it on that second red mage.
So I think that's Fred's plan. That's why he was using the nuke. Is he's gonna go and he's gonna hope for a red wizard carry.
He
and
can
your knight is
saber
just
that thing.
Yeah, you've got saber, so that might be the play. And just saber both of them, white shirts.
Use that defense sword as a dodge tank instead of just an absorb tank on the fighter.
That's not what you want to see right away, though. Nuclear on turn 1 takes a good chunk out of the first red wizard. Second one's still sitting there, but you've got to start healing now. Saber, and I would have maybe heal 3. You don't know what's coming next now. Because you definitely do not want red mage 2 to be the one that dies. All right, he's gonna throw the cure or cure 4. Yeah, 3 for 3. There's the Excal. This is why it's like power bonk is a thing, but we're gonna keep saber, and fade. Start getting some damage out. We got 98. That's not really what you want to see. Damage poison comes out.
They may not be over 400 for the most part, but they are surviving. That's all that matters. When the cat, that really seems to be what's going on, because all the sabers, all the swings with whatever weapons that those red mages can wield.
I would do it. I mean, you've done this is going to be. I would do a test swing after this just to see if your damage is there because you know he's got at least a nuclear and a damage poison. He's running through his skills, and right now, technically, that second red mage is in killable range from a nuclear. It's not at 320, so yeah, and you're starting to like get through your spells, so you need to start actually getting some damage out. We've got 26. He's evasive then too, I think.
Yeah, he also is dark, which, if I remember correctly, affects his accuracy.
Yes, it does. 2 for 297. You're happy to see that. We need some more of that though.
They really are missing fast with only 2 or 3 hits out of these melee characters.
Chaos swings, misses. I mean, if you're gonna have the White Wizard do anything that's not healing, I would say just use the Thor Hammer. They'll do more damage than a swing. Let's see, 2 for 208, no crit either. So that actually feels pretty good. The fact that you're getting about 100 damage a swing now with no crits, that feels pretty good. But I would definitely be trying to keep that Red Wizard topped off right now. Ooh, crack. Go down goes the Knight and the White Wizard. That's just bad. 224. We got 2 for there's nuclear. Big roll. We need some cure 4s.
How did they both survive that?
We got some all right, we got good turn order. They're back. Oh, they are not evasion capped. Damage poison comes out. Down he goes.
And that is GG for fcoughlin. That is a slog. A race time .gg time of 57:51. Down goes Chaos. You need to take a breath there, Sirlinkla. You were going play by play on that.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, well, we'll get a breather, but let's see. Do we have anybody in the waiting room right now?
Yes, we do. Let's see if we can pull them in.
Yep, we'll see. Pull Fred in and see what he thinks about this seed.
And well, Fred, GG, welcome to the game room. What do you think of the seed?
Thanks. That was something. I say that a lot about these seeds, but definitely that was an experience.
Did you like seeing fast finally?
It would have been nice if it had been the other slot there.
Well, you definitely put that saber to use.
You know, that was pretty much the only way I could see getting through there was just, you know, especially with that fighter not being able to do anything except for wave noodly arms and hope that, you know, the stack of papers he was holding wouldn't somehow get punched through. So, yeah, pretty much the only shot there I thought I had there. It was either going to be punch everything on the way down and then save all the nukes and fades, or use up all the other resources and then just saber a lot and hope I get lucky. And we're able to limp through to the end there.
How your red mages both survived that second nuke. I think your second red was at 10 life.
Yeah,
and then you got order to get the cures.
Yeah, I got really lucky on the order on that one. It was basically, you know, I got to play risky. I'm down 0-1. I mean, can't play completely risky, but I'm down 0-1. If I lose, I lose. That's part of the reason, you know, even after Tiamat there, that I used a couple of cure 4s instead of potions, because I figure every second could have mattered. I figured Syraniss was probably right on my tail. And so, basically, it was just I gotta catch every second I can. So it was get there, and then as we were going in there, it's like, okay, yeah, he can roll up to 400, but at the same time, you know, it's a full range. I just have to hope that I'm not gonna hit like both those very high numbers together and just keep punching.
Most definitely. I mean, you both saw the floater, you both went for the grind to get it, and then it was just everywhere, whenever and however you went. There was plenty of divergence in routes, and that made a huge difference in the end.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it just ended up, you know, it was close. Sounds like it was a close one, so I was happy to see us get to a game 3. It's gonna be a bit of a slugfest, so Looking forward to exactly when that's going to be. We still have to hammer out a time for that. I didn't think that we were going to get to a game 3.
Well, not forgetting Saracen is still getting his playthrough. He has reached Chaos, and he has already seen a nuke come out of Chaos. All of his characters up. He did grind up quite a bit more. He ended up diving all the way into Earth Armory just to try and find that Saber Gauntlet, which he did not, but he did find some metal slimes in there on a spike tile and ground up a little before heading into Toph.
That would definitely help out a bit. You know, those extra couple of levels, get everyone over 400 as their base, because I'm not even sure if my my red mages there had a 400 base or not. So
Nope. You
yeah,
only had the
exactly.
armor or the knight.
Yeah, so basically, I just, there never were that great things, and I was just, okay, do I push for nuclear? Not nuclear. Do I push for a couple of levels there? And Topher was going through my mind, or just go? And I just said, you know what? We gotta make this. We gotta push on this, because as I said, I know Syraniss is incredibly good, so
Though
just
you
had to hope.
definitely played it right and pulled it out.
So Syraniss having a slightly easier time with this.
Well, seemingly so. I did not see just how he shuffled his swords around. I knew he shuffled a ribbon and the pro cape down, as well as a gold ring to his second red mage. So just like you with that Vorpal, his second red mage is seemingly his primary carry. Although I believe he actually sold the Vorpal when he got it. If I'm remembering correctly. If I'm not, then I'm not, and that's good for him, because that Vorpal really made a difference.
He is swinging the Warble. It was the katana. I've seen him do a swing on Chaos already, and it was definitely the Warble.
Yeah, if I had needed money at that point, selling the katanas was definitely something on my mind there. But yeah, that just was a case of we needed that early money there. That's why I sold the black shirt.
Yeah, that's what got you that in the air faster, and that is GG for Saracen.
Oh, nice.
A very hard fought battle against Chaos for him as well, even with those higher levels. Let's see if we can get him in to join us as well. Welcome, Saracen. GG. Or did I say Saracen? Syraniss. My apologies.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not very familiar with the members of the community, but I definitely have been confusing the two of them as well several times here throughout the last few weeks. Like, oh, okay, that's the person I'm playing. Nope, that's not the one I'm playing. When I'm trying to go back and look at videotape.
Yeah, I just get Jay Scheidel and Jay Coper mixed up a few times, but oh well.
Could see that one too. I mean, I wouldn't get Jay Coper wrong just because of same community, but with the Z1R and everything else I've met Jay Coper in. So, but great race there, Syraniss.
Yeah, it was. GG's.
It was interesting to see you dive so deep into Earth, even though you had all 3 orbs, but you were searching for that power bonk, no doubt.
I was. I may have felt a little safe, and I told myself I shouldn't, but I wanted to play it safe, because you never know. If Chaos had been a little more nuke happy, things could have gone bad.
No doubt. There were moments where both of you were not the greatest situation, but your extra grind on those metal slimes that you did find down there in Earth Armory did help a lot as far as sustaining you through. You also had something of an armor and equipment advantage, I believe.
Probably. I had, I think opal armor on the knight or something like that, but really the rest of my team was pretty bad. I bought a copper bracelet when I bought my pro rings, just to have something slightly better on one of the mages there. And I think that actually ended up being the red mage that was my primary Vorpal dealer too. I should have actually paid attention and swapped their armor around.
Yeah, I at least had a couple gold bracelets and a white shirt, so...
The equipment in general, especially the late game equipment, rolled up pretty well, all things considered. And seeing that Excalibur, even though the knight rolled -20 strength, still made probably made at least getting through Kraken a little less tenuous.
Yeah, that was gonna be a scary fight there. I remember when I got that, it was okay. At least now I can get some extra damage on the punches. I think I lost one of my mages at that during that fight, but it still was enough to be able to at least get through the early bosses before all of a sudden they go into super cyan mode. I think is that how they refer to it typically.
Saiyajin, maybe?
Okay, yeah, as I say, I've seen it written out once or twice, but I've never actually pronounced it properly. But
Yeah,
For sure, though, that xcow will always put in work until you get to chaos.
oh, absolutely. Well, Tia was like, "Yeah, I don't think I'm going to, be as nice to you here. I'm just gonna have super strong armor."
It was interesting seeing that pickup of the cube and the chime, being able to get into a proximity play on Sky for you, Syraniss. I was wondering just what would be found there. You skipped basically everything except for CC's Gamma and the Fast 4, though.
Yeah, I was really going for the better spike treasure chests, mostly just aiming at those, figuring that's my best shot at power bonk. I'm not going to search every chest. I don't need it that badly.
Totally fair.
Clearly, I didn't need it at all, and I should have just, gone.
Yeah, well, we never know what's in Topher. Even if you had checked the bats, I doubt you would have seen anything that would have told you Topher was totally doable at the levels that you were at and with the equipment you had.
It was scary.
What we saw, if you had seen Warmech, it might have just moshed you with every nuke cast in the game. But
I was hoping to see Warmech. I actually wanted to kill it. I wanted the XP.
Yeah, I mean that would have been a great way to get the mini grind. There would have been just climb up to the sky. That was the one I didn't do, but that never got cube even. But yeah, it was just that would have been a great way to go up to get up like 5 more levels there instantly.
praise the robot chicken.
I mean, it also could have gone very terribly. He could have just nuked our face off when we saw him and then make you walk the whole tower again. But I would have tried him if I had seen him.
He could have been nice. He might have just given you a nice friendly little hug, pat on the back. It may have been a radioactive hug, but no one cares.
But hey, the good news is this means we get a game 3.
I know, this is going to be exciting. Another night, another round of stress. Fun.
Hey, we all love having yet more Final Fantasy to play.
That's true. I'm looking
And
forward to it.
enjoy.
It's been a really good series with you here for the first 2. I'm glad we were able to make that one close, and I'm looking forward to game 3 here when we figure out exactly when it's going to be. Then you'll all know.
For sure.
We will be looking forward to that being put on the calendar. Any other final thoughts from you, racers? Sir Linklaw, do you have anything to say on this?
Going to. It was definitely a fun race to commentate for both.
That sounds like a no.
Sounds like the internet's saying something else.
He's just doing his Warmech impression. That's all.
Fair play.
But no, thank you to the both of you. Thank you, Starlink, a lot, Thavian, for doing the commentary there. Thank you to JLo for tracking and for the Demon Frog there behind the scenes with the restream. Been a fun one. I'm looking forward to limping into a third game here. But thanks a lot. Great game again there, Syraniss.
Absolutely. As always, a big thanks to all the broadcast teams that all help put on this show that we get to do every night. It's wonderful.
It is always a pleasure to bring more of your races, everyone in the community's races, to the people and try and get more people interested in playing this game and join us in the fun. For anyone out there who's not aware and is kind of interested in what's been going on in this race, feel free to join the Discord, Final Fantasy Randomizer. Check out FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. And this would not be a bad time to join up because we have the Duckling Derby event coming up after this tournament occurs where ducklings, new runners who join the community, get trained up by runners that are currently active in the community, learn the ins and outs of this routing and stat tracking, just get everything they need to learn to then beat the people who train them and or compete in the Duckling Derby itself, which is another tournament like this where the ducklings will be the ones racing rather than the runners that you often see in these larger events. I am personally going to be a duckling in that tournament, and I look forward to it immensely.
Felt like a lot of fun. It's my first tournament here. I've been having a blast with it. So, but it's still a lot of stuff I don't think I know. So I'd love to see more of that information come through, and looking forward to learning from those.
There is so much to learn. I'm still having trouble learning what the blur syncs are half the time.
They weren't blessings tonight. They were just curses.
Yeah,
I mean,
no plus 70 intelligence. That was the one sad thing, is that we didn't get any of that.
you did get that agility to supplement the lack of strength from the fighter.
Oh, sweet. So we can run around circles and tickle you. Death by 1,000 laughs to Tiamat, I guess.
Well, if that is everything, I guess we'll go ahead and sign off the match and look forward to getting that game 3 in from you too, Syraniss, or fcoughlin. Thank you for the race.